Hey guys, Novak Djokovic, Adrian Mannarino. That's what we're going to be watching today. Let me try to avoid that light. Maybe that is a bit better now. There should be some more people joining pretty soon. Vansh, I know, and maybe Owen as well. But they're not here for now. So for now, you're just stuck with me. Djokovic, in fact, has just started the match with a pretty wild double fault. And we are seeing the next point now. Mannarino making an unforced error on the forehand. One of the big questions today is going to be whether Mannarino holds up physically. He has played 3 5-setters in a row and has spent almost 12 hours on the court. He also played one doubles match, but almost 12 hours on the singles court for now. So that's not improving his chances, let's be honest. It's also the day session, and he finished his match against Shelton pretty late. Djokovic had his best performance of the week so far against Echeverry. Seems like the symptoms of his cold are going away. So how do Mannarino's prospects look here? Pretty horrible. But actually, it's another double fault for Novak. So 15-30 down. But Novak played him 4 times, beat him all on every occasion, lost one set. Whether it was a long time ago or a pretty recent match, it didn't really matter. Of course, Mannarino is like a very tricky opponent to face, but if you're so experienced and have so much regulation in your game as well, I think if you're Novak, you probably should be able to handle him. It would be by far the biggest win of Mannarino's career if he was able to pull it off. I'll go that far, and it would probably be like one of the most impressive physical efforts I've ever seen as well, if he is able to pull this off. And he wins the next point as well. So it's 2 break points in the first game. Djokovic has had it all on his racket here. He sends Mannarino all over the court. He goes to the net. Seemingly everything is in good rhythm, momentum, timing, but he messes up the final forehand volley, I think. Let me see the replay. Yeah, indeed, forehand volley. So a bit of an unexpected twist, certainly. The first couple of points, but now with a big serve, Djokovic saves the first break point, and you guys also have the scoreboard on the screen now. Thanks. That will of course help us out as well. The scoreboard is pretty fast, but I'm also using a stream that's like 5 seconds behind it probably, so we should be more or less in line with it. Anyway, second breakpoint, of course, 2 double faults and a pretty poor forehand volume is from Novak, so Mannarino hasn't done all that much to get to these breakpoints, but he also hasn't done much to lose them, to like miss those chances, since this is an ace down the tee from Djokovic. Some early rust, some early nerves, but we'll see how it actually looks once we get more rallies. Also interesting to see if the Mannarino serve is going to play out like we think. So probably Adrian like thinking that he has to go for a lot, and well, he kind of does. So we might see like a more aggressive version of Mannarino here, especially later on in the match if he's not feeling up to par when it comes to his fitness. This time another volleying point from Novak. Of course, that's something we might see a lot as against Mannarino. You sort of have to just craft up the rallies a bit more, like with a little bit more patience, maybe a little smarter. And as I said, like if you're a 36-year-old greatest of all time player, you're probably not as vulnerable to it as a Ben Shelton would be, or as many players over the past 2 or 3 years have been. We had an interesting discussion on one of the streams. I think it was for what was it for? That's, by the way, a really fabulous Mannarino point, though. Forehand counter down the line, out of position. He really manages to put Novak on the back foot suddenly, turns defense into offense. But there was an interesting discussion I had with Vansh. What was that stream? I think it was yesterday. And we were sort of just talking about Mannarino having the best patch of his career, but there's also an argument to be made that he actually isn't playing much better than when he was, 2016, 18, like his first prime. He's just sort of winning 250s. He's better mentally. He has a better record in finals, but at the biggest stages, he actually hasn't like exceeded expectations too much. He is in the forefront here, but that's not like the most incredible run he's ever had, or something. And ATP 1000, I think he had a quarter, but he also had a quarter in 1618. So I guess there's an argument to be made that there's a lot of youngsters at the top of the sport right now compared to a few years ago. I think at the end of 2020, there were 40 players who were over 30 years old in the top 100. Now it's like 21, I think, at the end of 2023. And Mannarino is just really well equipped to ask them the questions that they maybe aren't ready to answer yet. You know, the shot selection, the patience, the court craft, the ability to sort of stand away from using their powerful forehands. In a way, the power generation that we have right now, some players have struggled to keep up with it. Like, I don't know, a Damir Jumhur, but Adrian Mannarino only survives even better in the sport right now because of it. So that's also an interesting point to be made, I think. That in terms of the whole ATP landscape, I think Mannarino really finds himself a very nice niche at the moment. Definitely being one of the most unique players in the top 100 and bringing in a very different skill set to what most people tend to have and to where ATP tennis seems to be trending at the moment. Anyway, first service game of the Frenchman. We'll see how he approaches it. Not going to be too good for him if he commits these +1 errors, but it also wasn't an aggressive opportunity of any sorts. The ease of winning their own service games. I mean, we do expect Djokovic to have the edge there. We saw what he did to break points down, just two great serves. Not much of a shot for Mannarino to really clinch that game, even if he did have two opportunities. Whereas on Mannarino's serve, I mean, we would sort of expect it to maybe be a little, 50-50-ish. I don't know. Is that really the extent of dominance that Djokovic will have in this match? I kind of think so. Also, of course, whenever you're a lefty, if you have like a good backhand, a good opportunity to target the backhand cross court from someone, that would be good. But against Djokovic, do you really have it? Not really. That's some very nice angles in this rally. Djokovic having Mannarino on the back foot, Novak recovering with this forehand squash shot, but eventually he screws up his timing on one of the shots actually. So it is 15-all now. "25 shots in that rally. Most of the time it was Mannarino in control, so I guess it's fair that he eventually wins it. But I think that Djokovic did play a few tougher rally balls earlier than the one that he eventually missed. Mannarino going for all these tricky angles on serve out wide as well. That's not working out so far, but of course we'll see a lot of good serves like it during the match. Now Djokovic very willing to trade with Mannarino, very willing to just stay in the rally. And I think someone like Ben Shelton will probably be watching, should probably be watching this match and just seeing what he did wrong, against the French veteran. I'm not saying that Novak is like guaranteed to win this match, but definitely he has a better idea of playing against an opponent like this than Ben did. Again, some fabulous angles from both. Mannarino tries to go for too much eventually on the backhand, but I think it was that earlier, like 2-3 shots earlier, that backhand cross from Novak that won him the point realistically. After that, Mannarino was really forced to go for, not broke yet, but that was what forced him to go for that forehand down the line, and then eventually also the backhand cross. Just suddenly had to risk it a bit more out of position. So 15-30 now. 32 shots in the last rally. Wow, I wasn't even expecting that. It actually felt to me like the 25 shot one earlier was a little longer. What the hell was that return? I think it was around the net, maybe even from Novak, or like over the net post. But yeah, I want to see the replay of that. Hopefully they show me it because they're still in the rally, after that return, which I think was over the net post or maybe even around the net. They were still in the rally, and Novak just slowly outplays Mannarino. 18 shots now. I mean, all these long rallies, but Novak is winning them. They're not going to show me the replay of that return. I think it might have been around the net, though. That was the wide angle from Mannarino and Novak covering it with the backhand slice. After which both players were like a little unsure of what was going to happen because of that. Trajectory that the return took. Now it's Mannarino's turn to save a breakpoint with a good serve. Of course, it is raining in Melbourne, so right now, Kostyuk Timofeyeva, they're the only singles match today not on a court with a roof, so they are the ones who could be in trouble if that continues. However, this means that this match is held indoors. I don't know if this is actually of any help to Mannarino. Maybe a touch. Yeah, it's hard to say. He does take a lot of his shots early, so like perfect conditions, not hampered by the wind, sun, I guess maybe. But then again, of course, Novak is one of the strongest indoor players in history, so I don't know if this will actually impact the result or the dynamics. At the same time, of course, we also have Anisimova and Sabalenka on the other court. What I think in Margaret Court, right? This is Rod Laver Arena, yeah. Sabalenka now 2 set points up in the opening set, so far making pretty light work of a matchup where she's 1-4 down. Mannarino will hope to do something similar and also overcome a matchup that was very tough for him in the past. Paul-Henri Mathieu in Mannarino's box, of course, a top 20 player himself back in the day. Mannarino just joining the top 20 very recently. In fact, I think even this year, as at the tail end of last year, he was in that battle with Hugo Humbert, who will finish the French number one. Humbert did it by 10 points, and that's only because in the last week of the year, they both claimed titles. Mannarino beating Jack Draper in Sofia and Hugo Humbert beating Alexander Shevchenko in Metz. Novak wins the next point with a lob, so he's still in the game. Mannarino trying to track it down, trying to just throw it in, moonball it back into the court, but he didn't quite make it. The sprinting from Mannarino was a little quirky. I don't know what he was doing here, but I think that's why they showed us the replay of that. And the forehand unforced error into the middle of the net for Mannarino, who definitely will feel that pressure today that he needs to be the player who does not give anything to Novak, doesn't give him anything for free, because otherwise his days, his hours, his minutes even in the Australian Open might be counted. And let's see who is this. Another great rally with sharp angles and quality clean hitting, honestly. I mean, sometimes we might forget with all the trickery that Mannarino does that first and foremost, he is a phenomenal ball striker and someone who couldn't really be sort of mimicked in the way that he hits the ball by anyone. Net court helps Djokovic, it seems. Yes, Mannarino hits the net. Djokovic comes up with a pretty quickly constructed drop shot, I would say. It wasn't that easy to think of it, I think, just intuitively after the net court. But it is the right play at the moment. Mannarino chases it down, but Novak has a put away volley into the open court. So the first break is there after 8 minutes in this game. Lots of longer rallies, but most of them going Novak's way. And the start to the match is as good as the world number one was really hoping to get. You can also already see that he is just so much better at playing this matchup than Shelton was. Of course, it's also a very different dynamic because Djokovic is an entirely different play style to Ben, but I think as a whole, it's just pretty clear that Djokovic knows what he's doing. And even if he somehow loses this match, probably won't be because of that. I see we've lost the scoreboard, but well, we'll get there probably. I still am waiting for some people to join, but so far I've been left hanging, but we'll see. Hopefully you should have someone else with me as well pretty soon. Let's see if Djokovic can just keep rolling. Of course, the first game was very close. He saved 2 breakpoints in it, so it's not like this had to be 2-love up. I think he also saved a game point in the second game against Mannarino with that lob. So it actually could have been even 2-love up Mannarino, but you would expect him to be a lot more comfortable on his serve from now on. And indeed, so far, it's really good. A serve out wide gives him an ace, 30 love. Novak, of course, had some early tests this event, almost going 2 sets to one down against Alexei Popyrin. Against Dino Prismic, it was just such a tough physical workout. I guess there was never really a big moment when he was close to going 2 sets to one down. But I think there was a break in the third, right? Dino led briefly by a break. I don't think he consolidated it in the third, but I guess you could say he was fairly, reasonably close to going 2 sets to one down there as well. But as a whole, I mean, he's definitely recovering from the early issues that he had, especially illness-wise, which was also a bit of a controversial topic because you know how people on the internet and on Twitter can be, and basically some people are saying why do you have to explain his form with something? Can he just be not playing well? And yeah, I mean, if you weren't noticing signs of a cold in the first 2 rounds of Djokovic, or signs of slightly physical fatigue, of some slight physical fatigue in these matches, then I just don't think you were looking at it in an objective way, like you weren't actually seeing what was happening. But well, right now he seems to have recovered. Of course, a cold rarely lasts the whole couple of weeks. I think after the Prismic match, he also said that it's already a week that he's headed. So yeah, I mean, he looks fresh. He looks good to go. He looks good to tackle Sinner in the semis if that high-profile Final Four matchup indeed happens, which is something that, of course, we've been sort of waiting for since the draw came out. Mannarino won the next point. Nice return 1-2 punch, but of course it's still 40-15. Backhand up the line from Novak. He's just having Mannarino running all over the court now, but the Frenchman recovers. Great counter. And he is back in it. But just puts a bit too much on this backhand cross though. Free love, 19 minutes. Djokovic, as I said, probably not the easiest start in terms of the first 2 games, but the edge in the matchup, the edge in the dynamics has been there for him so far. And 3 games to love up, of course, that's something he cannot complain about whatsoever. Also, Taylor Fritz and Stefanos Tsitsipas starting up their match. That's the second round of 16 matchup that we are getting now. And Sabalenka now up a set and a break as well in the quarterfinal. Only one result coming in so far in singles, which was, of course, Coco Gauff beating Magdalena Frank 6-1, 6-2. No surprises there. The match was as simple for Goff as we were expecting. Just not much that Frank can do with her type of play, like her game style, her strokes being slightly, I would say, on the basic side of the top level of the sport. Not much that she can do against someone like Goff, where she has to create a lot of time, a lot of play herself. She can't really be that reactive, and yeah, that was really it for her there. We also have a lot of junior action starting up the second day of the main draw, but of course, most of the junior matches, or like all of the junior matches for now, I think, are on the outside courts. Oh, and actually, they're just starting up on them as well. So it looks like the rain is over now. But of course, this match will keep going with a roof on from now on. But yeah, also Cruz Hewitt is playing in his first Grand Slam, which is pretty interesting. The son of Leighton, and we have Vansh with us. Hello, Vansh.
Hey, what's up, man? I didn't want to leave you handing. Uh, Sorry, I didn't want to leave you hanging on your own.
Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries.
Mhm.
I still have. There will be a challenger final that I will be watching at the same time, but it's not for another 20 minutes. So absolutely no harm done. And I'm just putting in my earphones so that you guys don't have any echo. I don't know if you would, but just to be safe. And yeah, have you been watching the first few games, or are you just tuning in?
Yes, I saw the break, and now it's 3-0. So yeah, I'm watching it.
Yeah, we
And
had
yeah, I just
Anastasia
don't
with
think
a
these
scoreboard.
conditions are. I just don't think these conditions are very great for Mannarino. A lot
Do you
slower.
mean indoors or?
It's just slower. Like when they close the roof, it slows it down.
Okay. I
It
was
does
talking
take more
about it a
load.
bit, and I
But
and I said that like I don't really think it will impact the match, but I guess it's fair
yeah,
to say that it's a bit of an advantage to Djokovic.
I think so.
Um, mm, yeah, Mannarino would
But
probably like a bit of
yeah,
a faster indoor court, but he's also good in slower indoor conditions, I guess. Hmm. What would be the court in the entire tennis calendar if Djokovic was to play Adrian Mannarino right now? What would be the venue where you would see Mannarino potentially winning?
probably neither. But probably nothing. But I had to pick one. What about like a really really fast indoor court?
Okay, yeah. I was just thinking whether you will say
Like
that or
ATP
maybe
Finals.
some grass court,
Grass. Yeah, maybe one of those warm up tournaments. Maybe those warm up
yeah,
grass tournaments, like with
like Mallorca or something like that, right? Like
yeah,
that.
or even like a
That would be my
Halle
guess.
or like a really fast one. But
Hmm.
like yeah, like Mallorca, Eastport. Honestly, they're all pretty fast. Wimbledon is the slowest one. So
Yeah, Mallorca is a little weird. That's why I went for it. Like, there's a lot of bad bounces and
yeah,
yeah, people just complain about it all the time, which I guess increases the random aspect.
like
That's why I went for it.
Hertogenbosch the week after Roland Garros.
Yeah, that sounds
There you go.
okay.
Yeah,
Has
that's my pick.
Djokovic ever played Hertogenbosch? I think maybe early in his career he probably could have. I don't
Probably.
know,
I don't know.
but I don't think he's played Halle ever though.
He's played Halle before.
He's played. He
Yeah,
did.
he made the final in 2009.
Oh,
Lost to
I
Tommy
forgot about
Haas.
that. You're right. I forgot about that. That was one of the weaker. I mean, that was one of the rare years where when he's not in
Yeah.
Queens, and
So
when Federer isn't in the final in Halle.
Tommy beat him at Wimbledon and in Halle in 2009. So
Yeah, I guess we are both right. Then he played Halle once and he played Hertogenbosch once. So 2006 was when he played Hertogenbosch. He
but
lost
I'm
to
not
Jan
sure what
Herrlich.
happened in the final because he retired. And I know it was like one set all and was
Which one?
Halle 2009 he retired in
Oh,
the
he
final.
actually didn't retire. He lost 6-1 from what I can see.
Oh yeah. No, what
Um,
was the match where he retired?
he retired in
Was it in
Umag
Madrid?
against Wawrinka. I don't know if you're talking about
Oh,
that.
okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was like six
The
all in the
in
first
the tiebreak, yeah, in the tiebreak, yeah.
yeah,
That was
okay.
his first final, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds right.
Definitely like 2006 ish. But yeah, I remember him playing Hertogenbosch. I didn't remember Halle, but indeed, 2009 I guess would be when Federer didn't play Halle at all
Yeah, he didn't play.
because he won Roland Garros and then
Yeah.
went to Wimbledon without it. But yeah, And then, of course, Tommy Haas also beat Djokovic at Wimbledon.
Yep.
4-0 in, by the way, and this is unraveling pretty quickly. Mannarino had game points in both on both his serve and return, right? But couldn't convert them, and right now this is looking pretty bleak
Two
for
break
him.
points in the first game, I believe, right? But Djokovic
Yes,
hit
but
it
it
for
was
double
two
fault.
serves. Yeah, it was two serves. It
Yeah.
was nothing. There was nothing that Mannarino could have done, and he also had a game point on his own serve, but it was that lob from Djokovic that he didn't track down.
Mm.
So it's not looking great, definitely. Just there seems to be a big edge in terms of both like the matchup and the dynamics of play, but also now because in the score, like if Mannarino just won a few games, maybe it would still have the illusion, right? That this is pretty close, this is still going okay, but yeah, the set seems to be running away from him very quickly. Do you think Ben Shelton will be watching this match?
Ben Shelton will be watching this one. Um, I don't know.
Because
But
he should.
oh yeah, that would be a good thing to watch for him. Yeah, how did you
Probably
think
the
he played? How
best.
did you think he played Mannarino? Did you think he held up pretty okay, or what was your impression? Mm.
Like there definitely were moments when he was willing to rally and his backhand held up better than against O'Connell in the last two sets. But
Mm.
is it so like terrifying for his long-term prospects that he loses to Mannarino here? Nah, I
Mm,
mean that's a bit of a stretch. Although I'm also not exactly in the camp that says Ben has only played pros for a year and a half, basically. We shouldn't like say anything because it's all gathering up experience and he's allowed to be raw. I think for a top 10, top 20 player, he's definitely like a lot rawer than anyone we've seen in these
yeah.
ranking ranges, which kind of tells you like just how high his peaks are.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think it's a perfectly fine loss for him at this stage of his career. This year is definitely going to be more about just getting wins consistently for him. Like if you can do that, rather than maybe repeating the quarterfinal at the Australian Open or the semi at the US Open. Of course, it would still be great if he does it or if he picks up some more titles, but I think more so the goal is to, at least in my mind, of course, probably not for him, because as a player you also always want to go for like the biggest accomplishments possible. But like I would like to see just him winning more matches, like just more tournaments with consecutive wins and etc. Not waiting for half a year until he picks up 2 wins in a row again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a good learning lesson for him. Like, he definitely walks away from a match like that knowing what you sort of have to work on, right? It becomes more clear.
I think
But
so.
also, like, he wouldn't have faced an opponent like this ever. Like, I mean, Mannarino is just so different from most of the opponents that he'll play. So it was a
I'm
lesson for
thinking if
him.
he played someone similar ever at some point. Of course, it's hard to find a player who is similar to Mannarino, so it's not like there are many
Like,
options.
in the sense, like when he hits his, like the way like Mannarino can hit like the cross court backhand and it stays so low, and like how Ben has to
Hmm.
then go to his slice, and I think his slice is like okay, like it's not, probably
He
can't
lost to
trust it
he
enough.
lost to Jerry Shank twice last year, Washington and Atlanta, right? That's like
Sure.
perhaps the closest we can get, I think.
Yeah, that's like the closest, but
It's
um,
not super close, but there is a bit of a correlation between
I
these
can see
losses,
why.
I think. Yeah, he was really struggling to Shank there, and of course he also lost to Mannarino last year in Miami. So
Yeah, and
um,
Mannarino said that he thought Ben improved a lot. That's
mhm.
what he said in his press conference. I think he was talking about the Miami match.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, he did play Cam Nori and was also destroyed by him, of course, in Cincinnati, winning just 2 games. That's a while ago, though. So I
Yeah.
guess these are the closest, like maybe Nori or Shang. Just I'm looking at lefties who can be pretty
Actually,
tricky.
Nori is fairly close. That
Yeah.
Nori is probably even closer than Shang. Now that you
Hmm. Hmm.
maybe it's just their backhand and their way
I
of
like Shang. I like the Shang comparison more, but like these are the closest options. Yeah. I think the matchup was pretty similar in how they played it, but of course, yeah, these two maybe, but So he's had some experience against players like this, but he also lost all of these matches
Yeah.
that we're mentioning. He's 0-5 against Mannarino, Nori, and Shang. So yeah, this is
The main
looking.
problem for him in this matchup was also that
Mm-hmm.
he just wasn't getting as much out of his serve like he would against other opponents, because the way that Mannarino just can stand like right near the baseline and just, well, you know, absorb all of that power on the serve. Because I think Ben can still improve in his spot serving. He
Oh,
serves
for
pretty deep.
sure.
He does the spots.
He serves big. He has good variety on the serve in terms of the
Yeah,
angles. That's for sure.
yeah. The kick
But
serve
yeah,
is just so elite, and so is the
yeah.
power on it, and
Spot serving though, yeah,
yeah, that's
it's
the
it's
one thing.
a lot of the time he just throws in the 149s as at the U.S. Open,
Yeah,
but they don't really have that much placement on them.
that's what I mean. That's what happened when he played Djokovic also at the US Open. But I
Yeah,
think against Djokovic, his shoulder maybe was also not 100% because he was wearing that
Mm, I mean he
something
was
on.
still blasting the 150 or
Yeah,
149 miles per hour serves,
yeah, didn't seem to affect the
Yeah,
speed, but
at
that's when
least
it got like a
at least the
close.
speeds in didn't impact him at all.
Do you know something
But
about Tsitsipas' match? Yeah, Tsitsipas had 2 break points just now against Fritz, but Fritz held. I have this match also in my on another screen, so
Oh,
I'm
hi,
watching.
Nikolaos. Yeah, Nikolaos very often shows up when we do streaming for that Tsitsipas matches, but we're not really going to be covering like today, mainly. But yeah, if Vansh is watching it, then of course he's of course going to mention it from time to time, and yeah, keep you updated on that as well. Yeah, they did return also to play on the outside courts, so Kostyuk, Timofeyev are back as well.
Yeah, and also I wonder what the score is with Anisimova and
Up a
I
set and a
believe.
break,
Okay.
Sabalenka. Haven't been watching that too much. I did have it for a while on my screen though.
I popped in it for a bit, and the commentators were like, Anisimova does not look happy today. She is not in a great mood."
I think she's won like 5 or 6 points on return so far. So and
And then
that
there was
was with
there
one
was a
game
saying that
being 15-30. In one game she was 15-30 up. So you know
yeah, they were also saying that she looks really tense and looks like she put so much pressure on herself to win this
mm,
match, just
maybe
because she thinks she
of
can
the
like
head to
go for
head.
the. But I'm just like,
Yeah, you don't know
uh,
what's going on with her head, but of course she did have like a break from tennis that was not only injuries, she had some mental issues as well. So it's possible. But yeah, I don't think she should be putting too much pressure on herself against Sabalenka right now, to be honest with you. And Djokovic bagels Mannarino. Things were really got super bleak after these first 2 games, where there was a lot of long rallies, 25 shots, 18 shots, 32, I remember. But then the next 4 games were like over in a flash. I think the first 2 were done in like 15 minutes or something. Now after half an hour, we are done with the set already. But it's not like we were expecting something different, I suppose. Although maybe Mannarino has something in him still for that one last push and keep fighting here. Now Sabalenka was low 30 down though, and Kostyuk for on up on Timofeyeva. Kostyuk the better shot against Goff, or is
yeah,
Timofeyeva like a bit of an unknown quantity? And
probably Kostyuk.
I think so too. I guess I just respect Kostyuk's game quite a lot. This would be her first major quarterfinal, of course, but it's been like such a long while since she broke through to the tour. And yeah, the
She
2018
is
was it?
somebody who really has who really has it all, but hasn't put it together yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, one of these players just on the verge of a breakthrough, but she's been on the verge of that breakthrough for about 3 or 4 years now. So
yeah,
I think she had a pretty horrible top 10 record before last year. Did she finally
yeah.
get that
Before
win?
she
I think
beat
she got
Federer,
one, right? Yeah,
yeah,
she
that
she
was
got that
before.
win finally. So, but she had like a 0-13 at some point win-loss record, I think, against the top 10. So that was part of it as well.
Yeah.
And also in the Grand Slam third rounds, she was mostly losing. 1/4 round, she loses to Świątek at Roland Garros, which of course is nothing scary. But yeah, it does feel like she's been with us like for a decade now. Of course,
Yeah.
when she was 15, she made the third round at the Australian Open, which is why it feels like that,
Right.
even though she's still so young.
Last year, she also won her first title, right, on the WTA in Austin.
In February, yeah. I forgot about that, but true. For a while, I was really confused, but yeah, you're right, of course. Yeah, it didn't seem to like impact her all that much, I guess. But she did make like a bit of a step up last year, especially in terms of how she played a few of these big matches against the top opposition. Here, a bit of a wild run for sure. I mean, so far she's had 3 deciding set victories. It was a deciding set tiebreak as well against Elise Mertens. So, but yeah, still it would be massive for her to make the first quarter final at a major.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year she picked up 3 top 10 wins eventually. Sakari, Garcia in Washington, and also Jabeur in Beijing. So like nothing of like insane quality, but still it's a step forward if your previous record was 0-14, I think, even after losing to Sabalenka at Roland Garros. Yeah, 0-14. So Djokovic just cruising so far, but we'll see if Mannarino can just keep things a bit closer. Finally hold, get on the board. Looks like Cruz Hewitt will lose in his Grand Slam debut. The son
Yeah.
of Leighton, going down to Alexander Razegi from the United States. Of course, Cruz wasn't really the favorite in that one. He's playing with a wild card. He doesn't have a junior ranking that's that high yet. But I think he's also like 15 or something, right? Or 14, maybe even.
Yeah. Who is the guy? Who is the other prominent junior that's playing? Is it the son of Lindsay Davenport? No, that's not him.
Yeah. I know. Let me think about it. What is his name? Oh, Jesus.
Jagger Leach.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is he actually playing this tournament? Wait.
I think he is, yeah.
Okay, that sounds right then.
Yeah, he is. He beat the Sarksian yesterday, but now he has to play Hayden Jones. That's a pretty tough one.
Oh,
He's not
Hayden
he's not
Jones.
going to
Oh
be the
my
favorite
goodness.
there.
Yeah, I recognize him. Yeah. I think he was in the SoCal circuit when I was playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Don't know that much about him, but I just remember seeing
That's
results.
interesting. So he was playing in the States?
Hayden Jones, yeah.
I mean, he's Australian. I don't know. Maybe it's 2
Oh, okay,
Hayden's
maybe
Jones.
it's a different Hayden Jones.
Yeah, maybe it's a different Hayden Jones.
Yeah, I think it's a different one. Never mind.
The Hayden Jones I'm talking about, I know only because he played the Australian swing this year. Literally, he lost. He took a set of Shelby
No.
in Canberra, and then he also took a set of Ugo Carabelli at the Australian Open qualies. I think it's
Oh,
probably a different
so he
Hayden
has
Jones.
some serious potential then.
Maybe. I
Well,
mean,
I mean,
he's probably older than Jagger Leach as well, I think. And yeah, seems like Hayden Jones would be the favorite there. But yeah, definitely a lot of exciting talents in the juniors as well. Although I have to say that the outlook, like the whole landscape, has really changed with the year, with the players going away, and also all of these winners, runners up, like Teen, Blocks, Fonseca, now out of the court, out of the competitions. Like the whole draw looks so different. You know, Pacheco Mendes isn't there. I just gotten so used to these players. I guess it's only really like Perqueta, Sakamoto, they are the only ones who bring you the consistency when it comes to the previous year. And of course, on the junior side, in the girls, I think we are all looking at Hannah Klugman as well,
yeah.
who just won today. The Brit who, well, at least by her results, seems to have a lot of potential. Of course, it doesn't necessarily have to mean much for the pros, but we also know that on the women's side, it matters a great deal more because they're so much closer to achieving their physical peak. But she's just 14 anyway, and of course has been getting some pretty ridiculous wins on the Pro Tour already as well. The ITFs in Great Britain recently. I mean, she's got some, like, even top 300, I think, wins or something like that. Who was that? Who was it that she beat last year? Um,
No idea.
Miyazaki, I think, maybe.
Probably.
She took a set of Ocean Dodin as well, and of course that's relevant for the Australian Open because Ocean Dodin we have in the forefront here. And also took a set of Patina Makerkov on grass. Basically, yeah, like a super talent. Yeah, Miyazaki was I think in the top 300 when she lost to her. Anyway, another breakpoint for Djokovic, as this is not looking bright. I mean, Mannarino doesn't have like any physical issues, it seems, that are like, injuries or something, but he's also not going to be the freshest, understandably. So, now I actually remember that someone a couple of days ago asked me a question on Twitter about triple bagels at a major. I'm not saying this will be a triple bagel. I'm just saying I just realized I didn't reply to it.
Oh yeah, I actually don't know if there. I don't know of one. I'm sure there has been one.
There hasn't been one in years. There's a pretty famous one in the 90s, but I can't remember what it was. Is it like Guy Forget? No, I'm gonna check it in a second because there's a good list on Wikipedia. Of course, this isn't really. I hope that this isn't relevant for this match because it would be such a brutal way for Mannarino to go away. But yeah, there hasn't been one, I think, in years. Actually, 2001. Oh, it was Sergi Bruguera. He beat Thierry Champion in 1993. But also in 2001, there was one at Wimbledon in the qualifying, and it was Todd Woodbridge winning that match. Ivan Lendl won with a triple bagel in '87 as well. But yeah, basically in the Open era, there's only been 5 in the main draw, I think. But yeah, now how do I even find this? I guess I will have to type it into the search engine. That question from the guy. I think I was streaming at the time and I just figured I'm gonna reply later, which I eventually didn't.
Yeah, by the way, you know how I said that they upload every single match highlights? They have for me so far for the first 6 days.
And
But
then
then
they stop.
the seventh day, I only see Zverev and Svitolina. And so
Hmm.
I don't know where the other 14 matches are from yesterday.
So maybe there is a thing that they only they upload it, but then it only starts showing up for you after some time. I don't know, because I certainly was googling that Menchik Shapovalov one, and once you sent me the link, I did that again in the search engine, and then I just had 5 videos from that match or like
Wait,
something
so
like that.
if you don't mind checking, do you have
Of course.
highlights of the matches yesterday?
Just tell me a match, and I'm gonna put it. Oh,
Okay, I'll
actually,
just
I can just go on the channel. Never mind. So it is like Australian Open TV or something like that.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go on the channel. Australian Open TV videos.
And then if you go to the playlist, like they have an extended highlights playlist.
So extended highlights. The playlists. Okay, let me go to playlists.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
And then what is the most recent
Extended
matches?
highlights 2024. Okay. And well, the most recent is Hunter Krejcikova.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then it's the same thing for you.
It's then Korda Rublev, Mannarino
Mm,
Shelton. Yeah. So I guess
so
it's
they have
all not yesterday. It's 2 days ago, right? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, because it's the players playing today.
right. So basically, all the matches that happened yesterday are not there right now. But I only see Svitolina and Zverev. Like those are the only 2 matches that I see for yesterday. So I asked somebody who works in Australia. I asked Matt Trollope actually,
Uh-huh.
and he said that it's not sure. I'm not sure why that is, but I can see them. So
He was able to see the matches. So yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be
So
something with the rights holders. Like
yeah.
just like we were assuming when we realized that I couldn't see the Meshik Shapovalov highlights for a while, and then I could. I mean, it has to be
Okay.
something, yeah, with the geo blocking and broadcasting rights. For some reason in Poland, we couldn't get the highlights for a while. I guess now they're coming in at the same pace as yours, but in Australia they can
Yeah,
actually access them.
I think maybe they'll just pop up later.
Yeah, probably. Just like Meshik Shapovalov did. But of course, apology to you.
Ah, no,
I
that's
was obviously
fine.
joking on the stream, but
I also didn't consider that it would be geo blocked in some places.
I mean, me neither, really. It seemed like the Australian Open is just so international, right? And I don't
Yeah.
know, what's the point of blocking extended highlights anyway? Is Eurosport in Poland really going to like the Eurosport does extend some highlights in Poland actually, but most of the time at the slams they were just both in place. You know, the highlights from the slam and also the highlights from Eurosport. I think when we were doing Sinner Altmaier, for example, for the best matches of the year list,
Yeah.
I remember watching both Eurosport and Roland Garros. Of course, that was a long way after the event, but I think even during the event, they would
Are the
usually
Eurosport
just
highlights
show up.
good for Roland Garros?
They were okay. They were better than the Roland Garros highlights. They were like nine,
Oh
eight
yeah,
minutes.
anything would be better than
Maybe
that. I'm like,
the choice of points was a little weird sometimes, but yeah, still it was 8 9 minutes, and it gave me a lot more
fine. That's yeah.
intel
But
than Roland
that's
Garros
like these
highlights.
highlights that the EO does.
Yeah,
Because
I
obviously, if
mean,
it's a
I
that's
don't think
super
they do it
favorite,
for
then
every match
yeah,
though. I don't think they do it for every match though. I think it's just like a special occasion
oh,
type
okay,
of deal. But
for
yeah.
Eurosport, right? Yeah, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, I finally replied to that triple bagel, sorry, question. Hopefully
Yes,
it doesn't pop up
by the way.
here.
By the way, so
Hmm?
Sabalenka is through to the quarterfinals.
Oh, already? Okay.
Yeah,
Ashley in the chat not too pleased with Mannarino.
yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I knew this match would not be competitive.
Yeah, I think any chance that Marino had was sort of taken away from him by two things, both the day session scheduling here, but mostly the fact that he played 3 5 setters in a row. Like if this is a first round, it is a I don't know, the score line right now is probably like 6-3, and we're going into the second
Yeah,
set. But yeah, because Mannarino is also not really at his physical peak at the moment, and of course he
yeah,
did it to himself. Like I'm not blaming anyone else for that, but yeah, it's just rough for him to compete in a matchup where he generally is on the back foot almost all the time. Kostyuk 6-2 up on Timofeyeva as well. Although the Russian qualifier did lose to the first set to Wozniacki 1-6 and then came back. So
Tsitsipas up 4-3, but it's on serve over Fritz. They've both had 2 breakpoints each so far. The both of them are 0 for 2 in both their first service games. They saved a couple of breakpoints, but so far it's just been on serve.
I was saying sometimes that we are unlucky with the matches that we're doing, but I think now we're entering into like the most ridiculous bad luck we've ever had, because yesterday we wanted to do Alcaraz against Shang, and eventually it's pretty good that we didn't, because it ended
Yeah,
up lasting even shorter, I think, than at the stream for fifth set of Kecmanovic that we did, which was more like talking about some random stuff and watching all the matches at once. But also this one, especially if it does end up being a triple bagel. But at least that would be a historical moment, right? I mean,
yes.
a historic moment. Like what? How many people can say that they were doing a watch along while a triple bagel was happening? Probably none, actually. Like
It might
literally
be the
none.
first ever in history.
Yeah, like commentary on TV, probably yes. I think from what I've been reading right now, Ivan Lendl has claimed a triple bagel at the majors. Stefan Edberg, Sergi Bruguera, and Lendl won these titles as well. Andy
Okay.
Murray, I know, won a triple with a triple bagel, but that was in Davis Cup. So
Hmm.
there could have been some commentary. What was that, by the way?
He
Some
won a triple bagel.
minor. Did you see that on the Djokovic stream?
No. Let me
Like
see.
Djokovic had this weird reaction. I don't know if it was like a minor cramp in his thigh or
Oh, yeah. What
I
was
don't
that?
know.
I'm
Yeah,
just
again, he's now you can now you'll even see it after the point.
yeah.
Actually, hmm. Well, maybe this will give Mannarino his first game of the match. I don't think he lost the point at deuce because of that. However, the double fault that came later seems to be impacted by that.
Hmm.
So now the question
Is
becomes
there
whether he
something
can
up with his
actually qualify
breathing?
the
Is that
second.
just the maybe he's still just sick, or
The briefing, I don't know if that has been a big deal so far. Well, you're gonna see the next point in a second, but
also
it is
Djokovic?
pretty
Whenever he's
hilarious.
feeling something, he is not gonna hide it. Like he will show it to you in full
Yeah,
fledged.
he will even sometimes exaggerate it. One would say,
Yes.
which probably is a bit deliberate. Of course, he's. I'm not
Uh,
saying he's faking it in any way,
no,
but
but exaggerating, yes, he definitely does. I know Andy Murray definitely accused him of that in the 2015 Australian Open final.
Andy Roddick also famously started listing
Yeah,
out his injuries, but that was
that's
early in the
true.
day. That was when Novak really was like retiring in a lot of matches, and
Mm.
sometimes with some things like a sore throat or something like that.
There's also that Federer interview. He wasn't too happy in 2000, or no? Yeah, the
Thinking of
Federer
like,
interview when I guess that was just when he was asked about the erotic,
was it like
when
Monte Carlo or what was
I
that?
think Australian Open 2009
Mm-hmm.
when when Djokovic retired against Roddick because of the
Yeah,
heat.
yeah.
So
And then
then
Federer
Bjorn
was
Tinger
asked
was like,
about
"I'm
it.
sure you'll be diplomatic about this, Roger." And then Roger was, well, not very diplomatic.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember that then because I don't know the quote. I thought it was maybe Monte Carlo because Djokovic
Yeah,
retired against him in Monte Carlo, I think.
yeah, but he in that interview he actually referenced that he's like, yeah, he retired
Okay.
against me last year because of a sore throat. So
Yeah, yeah. Or
he
maybe I
become
remember it then. Yeah,
one
actually,
year.
that sounds right.
But yeah, it was fairly common for Djokovic,
Yeah,
2006 and
yeah.
2010.
Some also say that it's because of his like later on he went on the vegan diet, of course,
Yeah,
no gluten, and that this really helped him out physically,
I think
fitness
so because
wise,
there was
which
this
probably
one
did. Yeah.
doctor. There was this one doctor who was watching his match against Songa in 2010. It was a quarterfinal, and that's when he
Yeah.
noticed that. That's when he was like, oh, he has to change his diet and go gluten free.
Yeah, he did that, and of course never really had like issues with that again. But
Yeah,
yeah, so the Djokovic retirement thing, when we're talking about it, certainly just something from the past rather than
yeah.
something that Djokovic
After
has
that,
been
he
doing.
ever retired? No, he retired twice after that. He retired at
Yeah, but
2010,
it was
2010.
very different.
But yeah,
I
I was
guess
just trying to think where
Against
he.
Berdic elbow and
Yeah,
at
Burdick
Wimbledon.
elbow and then Wawrinka shoulder, U.S. Open. So
Ah,
yeah.
the U.S. Open, yeah, after 2 sets, yeah. So yeah, that definitely was very
No, 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 and
different.
then also Del Potro Davis Cup 2011. Yeah, there was
Ah,
that.
yeah, but that's like a long
Yeah.
while ago.
But yeah, I mean that's a pretty big improvement. I would say 3 retirements in like a span of 13 years is
Oh yeah, I
definitely
mean, of course, he's gotten so much fitter with the new diet and also the approach to it, like the how much he cares about what he's putting into his body, pretty much. So yeah, but this is a bit of a chance for Mannarino this game, and it's 12 minutes now. We'll see how Djokovic is after the break as well. He doesn't seem to be like moving a little, well, maybe a touch slower, a touch hampered for now, but I think it very well could be an issue that like he just sits down in a second and then
honestly a
he should
triple
be
bagel
fine.
right now would be epic.
It would be kind of historic, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I actually can't say that it would be. We wouldn't be unfortunate. It
no.
would be a bit legendary that we commentated on
Congratulations
a
for your
triple
excellent
bagel.
analysis. Who is this for? Excellent analysis. Is
Well,
that
maybe
you
for
or
maybe
me
for
or
both of us.
okay, well,
Oh, Nicola. Oh, it's from Nicolaus. Yeah, he's always pretty nice and tells us
nice.
that.
Yeah,
So
that
I
is
think
pretty
I
nice.
think it's to both of us.
Okay.
I remember him saying something similar in the future as well. In the future, in the past as well. Yeah, I looked into the future and I saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the moment for Mannarino, and he's not really stepping up to take it.
Tsitsipas is up 5-4. That
We'll
will
see
be
if the trainer will be out as well for Novak, because maybe that happens then, given he is like struggling a little bit with something now. Or maybe it's just going to be okay. Could certainly use a big serve here to just get this game over with and get to the bench. And we are officially halfway into a triple bagel now.
yeah.
A little tricky though, like we are 48% into a triple bagel because it will require 5 breaks, whereas for now it was only 4. So I guess we are like 48% into a triple bagel in a way, if we take into consideration the serves.
You see that reaction from Djokovic after he won that
Yeah.
game? Ah,
Yeah, it was like over 10 minutes. And of course, he was also battling some, I don't know, minor cramp, I guess.
yeah.
Really tough to say. Where is Craig Shapiro now? If you know what I mean. Shouldn't Craig Shapiro be out there screaming on Twitter right now? Then how is Novak doing this reaction when he's leading 6-love to love?
Yeah, where is he at now? I don't see him. Oh yeah, of course, because you're referring to when he said that about Alcaraz. And,
Yeah, against Bagnis in Miami, I think, or Indian Wells,
yeah.
Miami, I think. I'm checking his Twitter now. I'll see if he's posting anything.
No.
No, 17 hours ago was the last tweet. You never forget the 4 losses. No clue what it was about.
Okay. 5-all for Fritz and Tsitsipas.
Oh, but he only has 314 posts. Is that a
Yeah,
new
I
account?
think he has a new account now. I don't know. Something happened to
No,
his
but
old.
but he was using this 17 hours ago. So yeah, I guess it's a new account.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch Frank Goff as well, or not?
Very little, but it was very straightforward for Coco.
Yeah.
Just yeah, way too strong.
What we said, there's nothing that Frank can do really. Maybe if they were playing on grass, where Magda is like more offensive and can also probably chip some balls on the defense. She kind of plays like Jordan Thompson. No, that's too much. I'm referring to this thing I've been saying the whole last year, that Jordan Thompson plays like Andy Murray on grass. But there are some similarities with the excellent footwork, the slice, and how the strokes, which are usually a little puffy, they actually hold up pretty well on grass. But yeah, here, she had no arguments whatsoever. But yeah, we were expecting that, and still a good achievement for her. Top 50 with that sort of, well, if she gets into the top 50, because there are still a few players who can actually get ahead of her, with like Kalinskaya especially, but also Yastremska, I think Dodeo as well. So it's not a guaranteed top 50 yet, but just being, on the verge of that slam fourth round, I think with her game, it's a wonderful achievement, really.
Yeah, I think of these players, I think Kostyuk can definitely be more higher ranked than she is right now, and I think Kalinskaya will be up to 36 in the world, so that's more.
36 if she wins the next round.
I think so. Let me check.
Yeah, that's pretty good already.
Yeah,
I think,
I
of
think
course, given how she's been doing since October and how she's not defending all that much, then she would be like on track for like a top 20 maybe even this year debut. But that would require her to repeat that form and just keep it up. So I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if the body holds up, because that's also been the case. But like Kalinska is a super underrated ball striker.
yeah, she's elite. Like I remember watching her matches against Rybakina last year, and being like, "Oh wow, like she's going toe to toe with Rybakina while striking."
Yeah.
What is her ranking right now? 52.
Well, that's
So if
live,
she
right?
go, oh yeah,
She's
52
like just
live.
behind
So
Frank, I think. Yeah, like a couple of spots behind Frank.
if she wins, then she'll be 36. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much better. Does she? Is it her career high already? The
30,
52, or did
37
she?
actually.
Oh,
But yeah,
37?
37 if she wins will be
No,
her
but
live
like,
ranking.
what's her career high?
Career high 51. So
51. Okay, so it's like almost her career high. When you said 37, I was thinking, is it really her career high? I didn't remember her being in the top 50, but
for
yeah,
Kostyuk, this is a career high, by the way, 32. So
yeah.
if she were
If
to play,
both end up in the top 20 at some point this year, no one should like bat an eye.
I think actually Kostyuk and Potapova are very similar in the sense that they kind of got everything, but just like
Mm-hmm.
emotionally they have to, put it together.
Yeah, Potapova has been a bit frustrating for me
Yeah,
recently, definitely. Who did she lose to here? Juvan, maybe? Like a
Jovan in the
blowout?
first round. Yeah, six
Yeah.
one, 6-4. Yeah,
It's another backhand first error from Mannarino. So 10 games in, Novak not
Mhm.
looking hampered anymore after that one game. And yeah,
Alberto from the Philippines looks like a big Djokovic fan. Yeah, Djokovic is just cruising right now.
go Joker Nola. Yeah, seem to be safe today, Alberto.
Yeah. By the way,
And you're
Tsitsipas
probably going to
Fritz
be
is
safe in the quarters, to be honest. Huh?
Fritz is serving to stay in the set, and
Okay.
he just double faulted at the first point, so it's love 15 there. So yeah, we'll see who wins this first set. Looks like it's going to go to a tiebreak though. Yeah. Of course, these two played a five-setter in 2022 in the fourth round, same stage.
Fritz Tsitsipas, yeah, that was a very good match. I remember
Yeah,
being excited about it at the time, which is a funny twist because now I'm not. But yeah, back then it was like Taylor was still
yeah, of
a
course. Also
little
because
bit of an
the quarterfinal,
underachiever, right? Yeah,
because
at the
also
Grand
the
Slam stage,
quarterfinal,
especially.
the quarterfinal opponent for either wasn't impossible because at that time it was Sinner.
Sinner, yeah. But
This time.
also the fact that Taylor was an underachiever at the time at the Grand
Oh
Slam,
yeah, yeah.
and
Because before that he hadn't made past the third round.
yes, that was
So yeah,
his first second week, and that was a big deal for a while. That he
yeah,
hasn't made the second week, whereas he had a lot of chances. Of course, the one against Djokovic as well at the Australian Open with the abdominal tear. So yeah, it was a big story, and I guess just like usual, I just tend to root for the guys who I think still can achieve more. Whereas
mhm,
right now that Fritz is kind of plateauing, and well, Tsitsipas as well.
yeah.
I'm just not as interested in that matchup anymore. Of course, I would be interested if they keep it close against Djokovic, but just don't know if I really buy it right now with Novak looking so much better after the first two rounds.
Yeah, so it looks like we are going to a tiebreak there. So first set tiebreak. Plus. Tsitsipas, of course, has a lot of crowd support here. Greek
Yep.
community is huge.
What's the better
All right,
slam for Tsitsipas right now, Australia or the French?
Australia.
I think so too. The competition is too strong at the French, whereas, or at least he will be. Whereas in
Yeah.
Australia, I think he
Also, he
still
just
might
has a
have
better record in Australia, right? He's
some
made
chances.
semis for the last
Um,
5 times. So
yeah, I mean, he's been more consistent in Australia, probably has a higher win rate over the
also
years,
his
I would
wins are
assume.
bigger because he beat Federer and Nadal. And at
Yes.
Roland Garros, of course, he was one set away, but beating Zverev and Medvedev, that's
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
at Roland
rare.
Garros, he could also beat Federer. Nadal, no,
Yeah,
but he did beat him in Madrid, of course. Um, but yeah, currently, oh, it's very close. 21-6 in Australia, 22-7 at the French, two percentage points away. So it's super close actually when it comes to the win rate. Basically, one edition this year can change everything. Of course, before the final last year, it actually would have been the French. But yeah, he's been more consistent in Australia for sure. 6-6 at the US Open. This is just
Yeah,
absurd.
that is an absurd stat.
We
Of
have been
course,
over the years coming up with a lot of explanations for it, but I still don't think they all justify it.
yeah, it's a combination of so many things, though. I mean, a lot of it is also like that match against Chorich in 2020. Oh,
Did you see that shot? I mean, maybe you're gonna have it on your screen in like 10 seconds, but that goes straight up into the highlight reel of Adrian Mannarino.
yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I was so confused because he just did it so casually.
Yeah,
There's this famous in table tennis. There's this famous no-look shot from Jan-Uwe Waldner, who's like one of the goats, and
I
then
was
like
just
people
about to say this is a
literally
ping pong shot.
call it. Yeah, it is
This is
really.
not tennis. This is ping
Jan-Uwe
pong.
Waldner is like this one of the goats who's famous for trick shots and yeah for playing very casually, even though being obviously extremely talented. And yeah, like literally when someone does this, someone might call it like the Waldner, but yeah, that's just sort of along these lines. Yeah.
By the way, Fritz is up a mini break in the tie break.
Yeah, they showed me a stat of average rally contact height, and of course Djokovic is like way down below his round one and round two and round three because well he's playing Mannarino, so he's gonna be hitting off lower balls. But Mannarino is also lower than the first three rounds. Guess he was playing who? Shelton, Munar, Wawrinka. Yeah, makes sense, especially against Munar and Wawrinka. That would be higher.
Also, indoors doesn't it stay lower? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Tsitsipas missed a second serve backhand return. That is the one where if I'm Tsitsipas's coach, I'm telling him move back on the second serve return.
Well, now we are officially 2/3 into a triple bagel.
Wow.
As now we just need 3 more holds and 3 more breaks. Shelton is probably a bit annoyed watching this, says Sean. I mean, I think Shelton is probably gonna think that mostly it's because, well, he troubled Mannarino so much and like
Yeah,
fatigued him.
maybe he'll think about it like that.
But
He'll put his
that's also an argument. Like if Mannarino
yeah,
was fresh, he wins a few games here. However,
yeah.
well, he was very close to winning a few games here anyway. Like had like what game points in 3 of them so far. But also, if Shelton is looking at like how to play the Mannarino matchup, I think especially the first 2 or 3 games were a perfect example of that. But after that, Mannarino just hasn't been up to par. Like, yeah, he's laughing right now on the bench, which is also quite funny. But well, he sees the irony or even the humor in this, I suppose. He's laughing at his girlfriend as well. Is that Quentin Wallace? I think, yeah, it is Quentin Wallace in his box as well. I think they played doubles here, but they withdrew after the first round because Mannarino just didn't have anything left in him, to play doubles yesterday because he would have had to play yesterday after their first round. Yeah, it is Quentin Wallace next to his girlfriend. Paul-Henri Mathieu was also in the box earlier.
I just tweeted Djokovic pulled off a Swiatek. Okay, back to this type.
Well, we are heading into that historic territory now. If Djokovic can just win 6 more games, it would be wild. What was the scoreline, by the way, in Sabalenka Anisimova? 6-3, 6-2. Wow. Because I was chatting to a friend of mine recently, recently, a couple of hours ago, actually, and he asked me what I think about the Sabalenka Anisimova matchup. And I just said that, well, I just don't know if she has it, in her to beat her so early in her comeback. And he said this, yeah, it will be a 6-3, 6-2 match, but there's like 15% chance it's for Amanda. And well, the scoreline is 6-3, 6-2.
Wasn't that the scoreline when they played in 2019 in the third
Uh,
round? Then I think
I
it
can't.
was
I
5 years
can't
ago. Of
tell you.
course, they were very different players, but I think it was that
I
scoreline. Let
will
me
check
check.
that.
I think it was, but let me just check.
That it's
Anisimova
possible.
2019.
2019 Australia Anisimova 6362. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, I remember. I thought I had that right. So okay, so then and then also at Roland Garros they played that year.
6462. Yeah. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember that was the first time well, actually the first time I watched Anisimova was in Indian Wells 2018. She just destroyed Kvitova.
Hmm.
Like 2-4, and she hit more winners than Petra, and she was just I was just
I
struck
don't
by
know.
her
I don't
backhand
know
immediately.
where.
Like her backhand was just like God, like what a lethal shot that was, and the ball strike on that wing. Oh, so pure.
In what year that was that?
2018 Indian.
18. 18. Okay, 18.
She was like 16.
Yeah, I see it. I don't know. I probably watched some of that run,
Actually,
although I
2019,
can't.
I was really high on her because she almost won the
Uh,
French Open because she was up seven
yeah,
six
yeah.
against Barty. Oh no, yeah,
19,
yeah,
19 at the French. I have a lot of memories from that for sure. But I guess I probably would have watched something from Indian Wells as well in 2018. Just don't actively remember it.
yeah. Um, yeah, and then of course she played those matches against Osaka in 2022, made the Wimbledon quarters. So she's had more highlights for sure. She won a title, first title in the start of 2022. She was with Darren
Yeah,
Cahill.
just haven't really seen her on the tour that much recently. That's the main
Yeah, she
issue.
took she took a 9 month hiatus, like a sort of a mental health break. So seems to have done well for her because yeah, fourth round here is a pretty good result.
Hi Ghosty, although you seem to have left already. But he is
Because
laughing
invites
about
the
Felix.
FA law. Yeah,
Uh, Not much to laugh about, I guess. Although I we were talking about it last night, right? That like you said that he should look for the in that 2022 performance that he had against Medvedev. Look for
that's the only silver lining
inspiration
for
in
him.
that.
So like that's the only match where he was actually even
Yeah,
competitive.
I know, I know. It just doesn't seem like he's quite there. By the way, who will be the biggest underachiever, the bigger underachiever, I should say,
Yeah,
between Shapovalov and FAA? Let's imagine that from now on, they like don't, yeah, basically they don't go too far in
mm,
the sport. Like, let's just say they keep being like top
okay.
50, top 30 players, but no, they don't return to the top 10. They don't win majors, they don't make major semifinals, they don't win ATP thousands. Who is the bigger underachiever?
Shapovalov.
I would say so too. Yeah.
Yeah, because Felix still did stuff and he still made it in the top eight, whereas Dennis, I mean, like, oh my gosh, I mean, just how high his highs are, like, for him to be that streaky was just, you
Yeah,
know,
Felix has put his game together. Like he's had moments,
for sure.
patches, even like the indoor season, of course, of 2022 being the biggest example. But Shapovalov never really did that, despite like a ridiculous amount of natural ability. So yeah, I would say Shapovalov as well.
Djokovic got a time violation, and now he's just orchestrating the crowd.
Yeah, he's been interacting with them quite a lot this fortnight for sure. Usually, sort of just riling them up, but well,
And now he just blows a kiss after he hits that ace.
oh my goodness. Adrian Mannarino. I mean, it wasn't a game point or anything, but to miss that forehand volley here. How do you get that one game now? Is the question. But yeah, I mean, Djokovic would be returning at 5 love here. Do you think he throws away a game a little bit?
I hope not. I want a 6 love, 6 love, 6 love.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that if I was him, if I was him, but
If Mannarino wins one game, then I want a tiebreak. if if Mannarino,
Did
I don't
Murray
want like an in between.
did
I just
Federer
want
throw away a game against Murray at the ATP finals?
a little bit. I don't remember, but like I think he was 2 points away from it, right? He might
Maybe he
have.
was like even 30 love up or something like that.
He
I
might
don't
have.
know.
I don't know.
I remember this being a point of discussion where like after the match everyone was just did he really give Murray a game here?
Was Murray serving? It was on the serve. It was on the return, obviously. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Federer was broken.
Sometimes Federer just did that on return games. He didn't always lock in.
Yeah, but that was more so when he was like 1-5 down or something, not 6 love 5 love, I guess. Although, well, he was rarely in that position. Everyone is rarely in that position, I suppose. So.
Mm.
But yeah, Adrian Mannarino, I want him to win a game. I don't care about the historic aspect of it.
Why? Who cares? I
No,
mean, like,
I
oh,
want him
you
to win
just
a
would
game.
feel
Like
embarrassed.
this
I
is
guess it
just
would be
yeah.
embarrassing, but I
He
don't know.
will be a little, I guess. Although, if you think about it, like we know that he played 3 consecutive 5 setters,
Yeah.
and that he's also in a very tough matchup, and that even the net court right now doesn't help him. But um, yeah, I would still like him to claim at least one.
I'm not sure if Djokovic will be so kind like Federer was against Murray.
Possibly, yeah. But at least,
Of course, Federer
well,
did have a 6-love win in the 2005 ATP.
Gaston Gaudio.
Yeah,
Is that the only double bagel he's had? I don't know.
I believe so. Yeah,
Djokovic was, I think, on the way to triple bageling.
Schwartzman.
No, Schwartzman, yes, as well. But I was thinking of who was it, Bedlock or Monaco, something
Oh,
like that. Bedlock, no, who was that? Carlos Berloc, maybe like U.S.
was that
Open. I'm
Davis Cup?
thinking.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm thinking about the U.S. Open, but I don't even know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe that was Monaco. Someone at the U.S. Open, anyway. Let me
I remember
try to
Schwartzman.
find this.
I don't know before 2011.
Yeah, Carlos Berloc, U.S. Open 2011. That's the match I'm referring to. And I think I think Monaco came to me because Federer had something similar with him, also. But yeah, Carlos Berloc was actually on the way to a triple bagel against Djokovic.
Actually, Federer could have also bageled James Duckworth. Now that I think about it, was that
One game, yeah, Duckworth from one game.
Brisbane or something, right?
Yeah, Brisbane quarterfinals, 2014 maybe.
Yeah, the year that he lost to Hewitt.
Yes.
Federer was too nice, man. He gave Tommy Haas a win at the very end. He gave Roddick a win at the very end, and he gave Hewitt 2 of their last 3 meetings.
Yeah, Tommy Haas, definitely. That was
But
a
of
big
course,
one.
they were also his pigeons for several years. But yeah.
Yeah. So Federer Monaco was just 6-1, 6-2, 6-love, but I guess I just remembered because it was against a top 10 player, I think, at the time, and it was like a pretty striking defeat.
Yeah.
But Djokovic was actually on the way against Berloc, and I think it was maybe at 1-love in the third that Berloc won that one game. That's probably the closest that Djokovic got to a triple bagel, which I think is much closer than Federer, Nadal, and Murray. Well, Murray, of course, got it in Davis Cup, as I said, but that wasn't really an opponent like at his level. So, but ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Mannarino wins the game. It took him a while. He is now
When
asking
was the
the
last time
crowd
there was
for
a
more
triple
cheers.
bagel? Do you know when was the last time there was a triple bagel in a slam?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading that earlier. 93 French Open, Sergi Bruguera over Thierry Champion. And also in 2001, there was a double bagel in the final qualifying round at Wimbledon, which was actually done by Todd Woodbridge.
Oh man, you won a game. Okay, this set has to go to a tie break now. I will accept nothing else.
Yeah, I don't want to, crush your hopes, but I don't really think it will happen, but we'll see.
I know. Wait, I mean, oh wait, there was also okay. That was a qualifying match. Todd Woodbridge played qualies at Wimbledon 2001.
Oh, and there's another double bagel for Federer that I forgot about. I don't know if you'll think of it, but it is a pretty famous one as well, I
Yeah.
guess. Although less than Gaston Gaudio, of course, because Gaudio was at the finals, so that was huge. But yeah, there's another one. Um,
Wait,
I
what is
should have
Djokovic
remembered it.
arguing about now?
Hmm?
What is Djokovic talking to the umpire about?
I don't know. I'm watching on mute.
Oh.
Should I tell you, or do you want to guess?
I'll think about it later. I just have to respond to somebody.
Okay. Anyway, one game all. So we'll see if it is indeed a tiebreak, as Vansh wants to have it. But someone on Twitter talking about the stat of hunting third shot forehand, which we've been seeing a lot at the Australian Open, which I do really like. I was always pushing for it, and also for the forehands backhands ratio to be shown to us more often. Of course, yeah, it's not really a thing of like some players will actually not want their third shot for their third shot to be a forehand. I think Daniel Collins was at like 40%. It's a pretty fun cat and mouse point. At least Adrian Mannarino gets something out of this match here. Yeah, I would still say that Djokovic in the first few games gave a bit of a clinic of how to outplay Mannarino, but later on, John says that he just joined. Is it exactly as I imagine? Well, the first few games were very competitive, and Djokovic indeed was giving a bit of a clinic on how to play Mannarino and how to like outmaneuver him in the longer rallies. Even though Mannarino had a couple of game points, but it was just some spotty serving at first from Novak, and not good spot serving, spotty as in patchy. And then it just fell apart because Mannarino is like nowhere near energetic enough, I guess, to win this match. And yeah, nowhere near as fresh. But yeah, at first it was really Novak just showing Ben Shelton how to play this matchup in a way.
Showing Ben
So
Shelton. Yeah.
he's gonna call Shelton, call call him after the match, and he's gonna tell him, "Did you see that, Ben? This is how you should play Adrian the next time you see him." But maybe you're never gonna do it because me and him might be off the tour before you start competing for Grand Slams, hopefully.
Okay.
So how much can Adrian Mannarino still get out of Novak Djokovic in this game? And by the way, John says this is not good for tennis, which I think is actually another argument. I don't want to get back into this discussion like full time, but like the Rod Laver Arena scheduling today is crap. If you are a ticket holder for the day session, you're gonna be disgusted with what you watched because they gave you the two most
Oh,
lopsided
I
matchups ever in round four.
I thought they would put Sabalenka on what they were, because Sabalenka
I
and
think
Simona.
Tsitsipas Fritz should have been there, or Tsiner Kachanov and Djokovic on Margaret Court if we really want to have him in the day session. Because yeah,
Okay, yeah,
this just
that
made
could
no
have worked.
sense.
That could have worked.
This,
Actually, I agree with that.
yeah, this just makes no sense. And I know you cannot really be guessing that some matches will be competitive or some won't, but like really, Mannarino after 3-5 setters against Djokovic and Frank against Goff in possibly one of the most horrible matchups she has on the tour as well. Like that was never going to work. I didn't think it was going to be like this though. 6 love, 6 love, and basically 13 games into a triple bagel. And for the record, I don't think that putting Djokovic Mannarino in the night session would have changed much. I think that it did sort of kill Mannarino's chances entirely, but they weren't high to begin with. They were very close to zero to begin with. And these 4 or 5 hours of additional rest that he could have gotten, I mean, probably not that big a deal. Maybe we could have started talking about it if it's like, one set all and then Mannarino goes away. Maybe then we would actually have a conversation there. But with the way it stands here right now, nah. Serve and volley from Mannarino, though, to get it to 30 all. Of course, he's still sort of, why not go all out? Why not try just win a few more games? That's probably honestly his mindset right now, because I think even as a very competitive person, a sports, obviously a professional sportsman, it's pretty hard to believe in your ability to win the match right now. Deep down. But maybe if you
Murder
just
versus
keep
Coco in the
holding.
quarterfinal could be fun, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not as easy as people think. Although a lot of that depends on Kostyuk and whether she's just gonna be able to compete with the high base level, high, the speed, the athleticism that Coco sort of always brings out, regardless of whether she's having like a good timing day, a good forehand backhand day. So the pressure is the pressure is on Goff there because she's the favorite, but like the pressure in terms of keeping the match competitive is on the Kostyuk performance there. Mannarino tackling the Djokovic forehand here. Novak has to like put in this pretty short slice, but it actually ends up being the key shot in the rally. 22 shots here.
Oh, by the way, the other Federer bagel is so obvious. It's
Yeah,
the Misha Zverev in Halle, 2013.
exactly.
I
The
even remember it was like
quarterfinals.
30. It was 39 minutes.
Yeah, something along these lines.
So
Yeah.
it's like pretty. It was longer than Tomic against Neiman. Niemanen?
Nieminen.
Tomic
Nieminen.
Niemanen, Miami 2014. That was
Yeah.
6061.
Bernie is a legend. I did
Yeah.
tweet about this like a couple of days ago. I think it was also stolen later by Oli, but I don't care. Or maybe he also thought of this, 30 minutes after my tweet. But I don't know. For some reason, I kind of doubt that Oli is sitting there and just thinking randomly of a Bernie Tomic Jarko Nieminen match. But of course, I don't really give a damn. It's just pretty funny to me that he does stuff like that. But anyway,
By the way, we
yeah,
did see this scoreline of the first two sets last year at the Australian Open. Nishioka against Hachinov.
Nishioka. Okay. Yeah.
Nishioka versus Hachinov. That was also in the fourth round.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was 6-0, 6-0, 7-6.
Australia. Yes.
Yes, Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, forefront because in the third he beats Tiafoe,
Mackie,
Kachanov, and Nishioka beats Maki. Yeah.
McDonald. Yeah.
Yeah.
But McDonald was hurt. He was doing underarm serve, I remember.
And Nishioka was hurt in the fourth round, so it was kind of kind of even. Didn't Nishioka, by the way, lose to Echeverry at Roland Garros like 7-6,
Yeah,
6-love, 6-love as well?
yeah. Was it
Was it
6 love,
6-love in the
6 love, or
second? I'm asking. I don't know. I think it was one,
I
at
thought it
least
was
one bagel. I
I
think it
thought it
was
was
at least one bagel.
6-0, 6-3 or something. Actually,
It's possible. I'm asking rather than saying because I don't remember. But
let me see. Actually,
there was definitely
6-0,
one
6-1.
bagel.
Yeah. So the
Oh,
second set was
6-love, 6-1. Okay, so he did win a game. So it was
yeah.
almost the reverse Nishioka Kachanov scoreline. However, it doesn't seem like this might go to a tiebreak.
Yeah.
We, for some random reason, talked about Federer's double bagels. How about Djokovic's double bagels? Because this is pretty much a double bagel, and I guess we already said that the Carlos
Yeah.
Berlocq one was also. But did he have any on the main tour other than that?
6-0, 6-0. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I would say no.
Nothing is coming to me either, but maybe we are forgetting about something. One game against Federico Coria, one game against Team. Yeah, that was pretty funny in Rome for sure. But
Yeah.
that's still one game. One game against Montañez, 2 games against Goffin, 2 games Kubot. I remember that. Yeah, one game against Rosol. Mm,
He's
yeah,
also never
maybe
won a
no.
6-love set against Federer or Nadal.
Yeah. Further. Oh, actually, there is one double. There is one double bagel, but yeah, if you remember that or me,
Really, there is one. Is it Davis
yeah,
Cup?
there is.
Because it's probably Davis
No,
Cup.
no, no, no. No, Davis Cup
It's on
used to
the
be
ATP.
best of. Davis Cup used to be best of 5, so
Wait, it's on the
it
ATP.
was
I
much
should know
tougher.
it then. I should know
It
this.
is. It is ATP. I don't know if you should know this honestly.
Was it before 2010?
Yes, but just barely. 2009. I can tell you the event, and I will be surprised if you know it.
Is the opponent kind of well known or no?
No, I would even say that like you probably have heard the name, but I would assume you probably never saw the guy play. Did I see the guy play? I think maybe he played Challenger in Poland in like 15, 16. So I think I watched him on TV. But because that was I remember watching that Challenger ton on TV that these days. But I would say that it's likely that you never saw him play, and he
Hmm.
is long retired by now.
What was the tournament?
Basel.
Was it like John Harnich or something?
Mm-hmm.
It was?
Yeah.
Whoa! Okay, but I would have never guessed the tournament or the year. But I know I think I remember seeing the scoreline somewhere in the back of my mind.
I mean, yeah, you must have been glancing through the records because
But I wouldn't have, yeah.
otherwise
I
there's no way to know this.
Otherwise, I would have not
Absolutely.
have known 2000. I would not have known 2009 Basel. But yeah,
It is Jan Hernich, yes.
okay, nice.
Did you ever
I know
watch
Andy
him?
Murray has a double bagel in Dubai 2015.
And did you ever watch Jan Hernich, by the way? Was that a
Uh,
correct
no,
assumption that I made or not?
yeah. You're right. I never watched
It
it.
was okay. Yeah, I remember some challenger matches on TV in Wrocław, yeah, but otherwise definitely not. Andy Murray has a triple bagel even in his arsenal with the
Mm,
Davis
Probably
Cup
Davis
against
Cup.
Luxembourg, but yeah, as we said, Davis Cup is just not exactly like that. I mean, Davis Cup doesn't really
But the one
count.
I was thinking about was 2015 Dubai.
2015 Dubai.
He has a double bagel. I think it was some guy ranked 2000. That's all I remember.
Hmm.
I don't remember his name. I think he was just he got a wild card or something. Or maybe
Doesn't seem like it's 2015. Maybe it's a different one.
maybe I'm wrong. Wait, 20? Yeah, it would have been 2015.
There was this
I thought
guy
it was.
from Qatar who often played. I don't remember. I don't remember what his name was actually, but yeah. What was his name? This guy from Qatar. It started with a Z, I think. But I don't. But not 2015 Dubai because I'm looking for 2015 now. Um,
Was it
2013
2014 then?
2013 Doha. and it's Musa Shanan Zayed. That's the guy I was thinking of, but I would never have. Yeah, I would never have remembered
2013.
that.
2013 he played Doha.
Yeah, Musa Shanan Zayed from Qatar. Yeah, I never would have remembered
2013,
that.
I thought Andy played Brisbane in 2013. Didn't he
Well,
beat
no,
Dimitrov in the final there?
I don't know because I'm looking at the bagels only. So, but yeah, he played Brisbane, but Doha apparently was what?
No, that's not right. It can't be
Wait,
Doha.
where is that Zayed match then? What am I looking at even? No, maybe I looked at the wrong. Um,
Yeah, because 2013 he beat Murray in Brisbane
oh, it's
before the.
sorry, it's 2014 Doha. It's simply in December 2013 because it was 30th of
Uh,
December.
yeah. Okay. Wait. So 2014 he played. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so
that's
it's
right.
2014 anyway. But yeah, it's a 2014 season. The match was simply in 2013.
So
Yeah.
that would have been his first time back after the back issues in the U.S. Open. Okay.
Since we're talking about some ridiculous players, what's the name of that opponent from Luxembourg that he beat with a triple bagel? I actually would have known that. It's funnily enough, but that's
The
only
only
because of
Luxembourg
checking that
player,
his
the
stat.
only Luxembourg player I know is Jules Muller. I don't really know anyone
Yeah,
else.
it's not. Oh, you don't know Chris Rodesh or Alex Naff, college players right now?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I mean
Chris Rodesh
Alex.
maybe because he's like very high in the college rankings, but Alex Naff is out of college by now. But they are pretty good. Ugo Nastasi as well used to play with Gilles Miller all the time in the Davis Cup. So I actually know a few Luxembourgers, I suppose. But Laurent Bram is the one that Murray triple bageled, and of course I've never seen him anywhere other than that. But yes, he does have a win like this triple bagel in his arsenal. But yeah, Davis Cup, as we said many times by now,
Yeah.
doesn't really count. And he also has one more double bagel, Murray, but that's also really hard to get, I think. 2006 Newport.
Against who?
Robert Kendrick.
Oh, okay.
I remember the guy's name, but I definitely
Wait,
never saw him
Robert
play.
Kendrick pushed Rafa that year at Wimbledon.
Oh yeah.
So he got double bagel by Murray, but he pushed Rafa.
I guess it was after Wimbledon that he got double bageled. I don't know. Maybe he was hurt or something.
Fascinating. Yeah, because I think Robert Kendrick was 2 sets to love up on Rafa in 2006. That's one of Nadal's 4 comebacks from 2 sets to love. You would think he had more, but the one
Yeah,
against Medvedev
the
was his
match is
first.
so fascinating, Djokovic Mannarino, that we're talking about Andy Murray's double bagels. But well, it is kind of relevant, you know. We just
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
mean,
see if
we
Djokovic
are
is the only one who like.
we're
Well,
only talking
how
about it
many do
because
they
of the
have?
first 2 sets. I don't think we'd talk about it otherwise.
And I guess Nadal does not have a double bagel.
No.
Which is somewhat surprising given that he was, of
And
course,
he
so
also doesn't have
dominant
as
on
many
clay.
2 sets to love comebacks. Like he only has the one in 2006
Yeah.
Wimbledon, 2007 Wimbledon.
At one slam, he doesn't go to sets to love down, so that's also
Yeah,
part of
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
But yeah, apparently Nadal does not have a double bagel,
yeah.
so maybe a little surprising because his ratio of like total points won and like the overall dominance on clay is so high. Also on clay, I would assume it's a little easier to double bagel someone because if you have the
He
edge
had
of the ground.
he had a lot of like 6-0, 6-1s, but not a lot of 6-0s. Like he
Yes,
had
yes,
the
yes.
like the buzzers really the
Yeah,
the
there's a ton of them here. Actually, there's one that was heading towards the triple bagel direction, but then Marcos Daniel retired at love 6, love 5. So, but yeah, apparently he doesn't have that. Obviously, it's not really a big hit to his resume. Let's be honest.
No, that's the reason why he's not the GOAT. I'm totally joking, of course. For anybody taking that seriously.
You didn't. Yeah. Oh, maybe you did. I mean, I don't know. Some people might not understand the sarcasm, but The joke got considerably less funnier when you actually had to explain it.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know with somebody. Like, what if I get treated by what if I get a Sports Kita article tomorrow? That's like
That's still publicity, you know.
talking
There's
tennis
no such
analyst
thing as bad
bunch.
press
Talking tennis analyst bunch says that Nadal can't be the GOAT because of blah, blah.
because of not
That'd be
having a
so
double
funny.
bagel. Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny.
The legacy of Jan Hernich continues because of us and Robert Kendrick as well. I always used to mix up Jan Hernich with Jan Satral as well, and I recently started thinking of Jan Satral because I remember Denisa Alertova, who is now called Satralova, but that's also neither here nor there. And Adrian Mannarino trying to secure yet another game, and he does it with another casual shot. That's just, if you actually are going to like produce a highlight reel of Adrian Mannarino from this match, you're gonna find at least like 3 or 4 spectacular shots. It's
Yeah.
also more than he's won games, which I guess is a fine ratio. It's just that Djokovic has won 17 at the same time, and now he'll be serving for the match.
Yeah. Wow, there's going to be a lot of time before the night session, huh? Because this match is going to finish in like 5 minutes, and then there's going to be nothing on for like 3.5 hours.
Yes, on Rod Laver, and that's they could move something, like a juniors match or doubles, something that won't last that long. Of course, they've in one of the previous days they moved Kornieva Hadatmaya on Rod Laver Arena when there was a big break. So it's actually very possible that they will, especially doubles when like it won't, or mixed would be a great choice because then it won't last long with the different formats. So yeah, it's possible that they will move some things around, but I think they did that to themselves, like just putting in Goff and Djokovic here today. That was a pretty horrific decision, I think. Of course, they still sold the tickets. It's big names, right? But if you are a spectator, you're probably not considering your best ever tennis ticket.
Yeah. However, if you were a day 5 attendee, boy, you had it good.
Yes, depending on what your ticket was, like where the best matches were, I guess.
It was kind of good everywhere now.
Yeah, probably. I would have to check, like, what happened on the, I don't know, live arena that day and what happened on some other courts, but
Yeah, I mean, no, day 5, yeah, day session, you were good. You had Swiatek and Alcaraz.
okay, yeah, that was the one where Todd tweeted at us, right?
Yes.
And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I'm like watching other matches a lot more
Did
closely.
you see what I tweeted back at him? He asked for like what is a good question?
Yeah, the questions. Yeah, I saw that. I laughed at that. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't gonna
To
happen, but
show
I was
take a
like,
look
okay,
at us.
whatever.
Yeah, no, of course that was a good joke. Yeah.
Actually, he still has Alcaraz. Alcaraz still has time, so maybe if Carlos wins tomorrow, he can ask him.
Yeah, I don't know for how long he'll be there, I guess, but
Yeah.
although I think he is, well, I don't know if he's from Melbourne actually. He's definitely from Australia, obviously. But...
Yeah.
3 match points, Novak Djokovic.
Oh wow! What a defensive get by Fritz. That's like the fastest I've ever seen Fritz move. Holy cow!
It's very funny.
I know it's a bit of a shade, but yeah.
No,
But wow,
that's cool. That's cool with me. Novak Djokovic claims the match. So 13 games into a triple bagel. Eventually, Mannarino wins a few. But yeah, this was always going to be a tough matchup to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And,
I think before this, Owen actually asked me, "What do you think the score will be?" So I said 6-4, 6-3, 6-2. So far
that's
more
fair. That's more or less what I would have said, probably. Maybe with a little less. Maybe with a little less, like fewer games for Mannarino. Maybe, I don't know, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2, something like that. But of course, he was not fresh enough to really compete here. After the first few games as well, the couple of longer rallies that they played. And eventually, it's nice for him to win something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's another quarterfinal for Djokovic. Djokovic, by the way, has played 100 matches at all four majors, which is kind of a unique stat for him, I guess.
Is
Amongst
he the
many.
only player to do it?
Yes. Because Federer
Back in
and
the day,
Nadal
no
played
one played the
both
Australian
Europe. Yeah.
Open, so guys like Connors, Borg, and
Yeah,
etc. I
actually,
mean,
he is the
Borg,
only
of
one.
course, he had
He's
a
the
very
only one.
short career, but like guys like Connors, Lendl, they usually didn't play Australia that much, so that's why they
He
wouldn't
is the
make
only
it,
one,
right?
yeah. Because he's
Or
90
well,
now. He's 93 and 8.
Lendl actually might not have 100 matches at Wimbledon as well, I guess.
Yeah. Federer, of course, has Australia and Wimbledon and US Open.
Actually, Lendl has a lot less slam matches than I thought he would.
Yeah, he does.
So it's more so Connors, I guess, who's only in the conversation. But yeah, he wouldn't have it in Australia. I mean, he probably has like what 30 matches in Australia. Is that too little? Oh, 12 matches in Australia. But also with the French, he has only 53. So it's only just Wimbledon and the US Open where he did it. He skipped the French a lot of years, like between 74 and 78 apparently. So it wasn't just Australia that he was skipping. So yeah, I guess only Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal really can be in the conversation then,
Yeah.
because well, Sampras wouldn't do it at the French definitely. Well, I don't even have to check his records anywhere else.
He wouldn't do it anywhere. I mean, Wimbledon, he was
Yeah,
six, 16 and 7.
I don't think he's done it anywhere, but like I don't even have to check it, right? Because
Yeah.
there's no reason to. Agassi only really close at the US Open. Despite his ridiculous record at the Australian Open, he was also skipping it many years before finally starting to play it. What if Andre Agassi starts playing the Australian Open like 89, 88?
Yeah.
Because looking at this, I mean, he was 48 and 5 in Australia, you know?
Yeah, his record in Melbourne was really good. And of
He
course,
won
he
it
won 3
4 out of
titles.
9 times and never lost before the second week.
Right. And he won 3 of them after the age of 30? Or,
Sounds right.
yeah. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not, because no, 2000, right?
Yeah, 2000,
So
2001, and 2003.
well,
2002 was
he
the
was
hat trick.
29. He was 29 when he won in 2000.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
about to turn 30. 30 if you're looking at birth years, basically. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know what Ashley says about the 2-2 in the chat, but oh, that was
Actually,
21 minutes ago as well.
Djokovic could freaking surpass Sampras. Sampras is 14 and just after the age of 30. That's so wild. Because he has 12 after the age of 30 now. If he wins this, he'll have 13. So he could have over Sampras's amount just in his 30s alone. Wow.
And Pete retired when he was like 32 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he retired 2002 US Open was his last match. He retired in 2003, so he would have been
Well,
32.
but he basically retired in 2002. So
Yeah, so 31.
we can't
31,
really count it, I think, as a 2003 retirement if he never played a match. But yeah, I guess that's it for today then.
Yeah. Well, for a while we were anticipating a blowout, but and then we were also like, oh, maybe it could be a triple bagel. But Mannarino, at least good for him. He got 3 games, and he made it a little bit of a contest in the third set with a couple of highlight shots. And yeah, there's not that much more to say, is there?
Not really. I mean, that certainly wasn't a match that was any, blood boiling exciting. But we also weren't expecting a competitive clash. We just weren't expecting it to be like this. Rod Laver Arena today, kinda horrible, but well.
By the way, Tsitsipas breaks at 5-all in the second set,
Ooh,
so he will serve
he
for
was
set
like two
number 2.
points away, right, from losing it a
Yes,
second
he
ago.
was, and he hit a really good forehand at 15:30, at 4-5 down. So now he will get it to 1-set all, and then it can be anyone's match. Well, I guess the other exciting match that's going to happen soon is Mira Andreeva against Krejcikova. I will definitely be watching that.
Yeah, me too, me too. And Rublev the Minor then as well.
Yeah,
These
nice
are
match.
these are the highlights for today. Maybe
Oh, and
Sinner
then
if
also
Kachanov
Sinner
pushes
Kachanov.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think he could.
maybe.
I think he could take a set.
So yeah, that's basically gonna be it then. We still have John there, so I think he should be able to end the stream. Hopefully he's awake. And yeah, thank you guys. Keep tuning into the watch alongs and everything. Keep subscribing as well. 6K until the end of the Australian Open. We have to really speed it up to make it, but hopefully we can do
Where
it.
are we at right now?
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna make it truly, but of course, I'm very welcome to you guys proving me wrong. I think 5.5K is very possible, though. In fact, maybe we are already at it. I haven't checked it in a few days, so let me see that very quickly before we exit the stream. We are at, well, it seems that just 5.33. So yeah, 5.5 is, I think, the more realistic goal. However, let's keep aiming for the starts. Let's keep dreaming. Let's keep talking tennis. And yeah, probably there's something more coming up. Is there a Rublev Deminor stream? I don't actually. I should have known. I should know this. I should have checked that. And let me check that actually very, very, very quickly. Seems like no, there's no. But well, maybe there will be in the future. Who knows? But anyway, last ball drops for sure. And yeah, keep tuning into whatever we'll be throwing your way. And we'll see you guys soon.
Yep. See you guys soon. Thanks.
Yeah, I guess we don't have our producer then, so I will just end the stream. All right.
All right.
Once again, bye.